Hello, my name is Harshit Singh. I am a member of the Novel Edge-based computer vision application for workforce performance optimization. I'm part of the Capstone 2 portion of the project, and our team leader as a whole was Ivan Ramirez Comas, with our product owner being Nima Shea and our instructor being the Dr. Masood Sazdari. We were given a currently working facial recognition software, which is what the current team of the Novel Edge-based team currently uses, that we will eventually alter to fit more towards what we had to do as a project. What Guacamole ID is, and currently is being used for, it is a facial recognition software that is meant to bring visibility and transparency towards the employee to employer relationship. It measures every minute that's spent towards the computer and is also useful for helping the tracking time for employees when they're in overtime. When in use, the program can track the user's face and detects that the user is paying attention towards the computer. If they have their eyes closed or something like that, then it will provide an alert towards the employer to inform that they are currently not paying attention to their screen or they may be currently sleeping. It's also able to do things such as detecting multiple faces if it's showing within the screen. Now, as we were given that, we were made to alter it to fit something that the product owner wanted, and that was the Guacamole ID chat room. We're instructed to create a chat room that will eventually utilize the Guacamole ID software, and in this case it is meant to ensure the security of the user when they are logging in. As there was no previous work done towards the chat room, we began from absolute zero, except for the given facial recognition software. Now, the final version of the chat room, when everything is completed and properly working, is to have a one-to-one connection that the user is able to communicate with one other user at whenever they feel like for a period of 24 hours. What I mean by that is that if they need to access the chat room, they would need to log in and register, and after logging in with their proper credentials, it will also go through a facial scan to ensure that it is the correct user, and these things such as the credentials, facial scan, message history, and things like that would only last for 24 hours. This is meant to ensure security for the user themselves. Now, to create the chat room, we made a system design. Now, the system design is meant to ensure that the correct things are being inputted towards the database, such as the private chat room, as you know, includes the user 1 and user 2, the chat messages, which its main part is to detect the time the user sent the message, and obviously the content of the message itself. The account, which involves things such as the email, the username, and one of the most important things is the date that they joined, which means that the date they created the account, which means it can detect whenever the user started and can also detect when the user ended to ensure that a total of 24 hours has been properly applied before all the information is deleted. And it also has some extra things such as the friends list to communicate with multiple different users one-to-one with each other, and the friend request, which ensures that the user is able to connect with another user. Now, to create the front end part, we were instructed to create a GUI wireframe. The GUI wireframe is our general idea of what we believe the front end of the chat room will look like, such as the login and the chat room. It did, however, go through many different iterations and changes to where we came with our final idea that will be showcased later on in this PowerPoint slide. Now, we made a register page which involves the username, the email address, and the password. The password requires a minimum of 8 different characters and needs to be a different array of it as well. This means that the user cannot do something such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have to do something that involves different symbols, different letters, and numbers combined together with a minimum of 8 characters. Now, this register, after being completed, will then activate the Guacamole ID that we have slightly changed to a facial recognition that will scan the user's face and save the face of the user when first registering, and be used to compare with when the user is later logging in, and will only be saved for a total of 24 hours, of course. This is the current register page that we have, the final idea, and the backend design is only meant to ensure that everything is properly working. Once everything is connected, the backend design will be removed and the front end will be the only thing that anyone will see. Now, the login page is very similar to the register page. The only thing is that now we don't have to submit a credential. We're instead using the credentials that we used before. In this case, the user can submit either a username or an email and the password that they created, and after signing in, the user will go through a facial scan to ensure that it is the correct user signing in, and this will be active for 24 hours before all their credentials are removed. This is the current login page for the front end and the back end design that we have. That will obviously again be the backend will be replaced by the front end when everything is properly working and connected. The chat room design is our final idea. It is the biggest part of the project minus altering the AI of the facial scan, and it is what allows the user to communicate with another user. And they'll be able to see things such as the chat messages, the time of when they sent the message, and all their friends list and any friend requests that they may have had. Now here we have the front-end design, which obviously again will be replaced. Not to repeat myself too much, will be replacing the backend design. We ensured that the backend design does work. The user is able to have a one-to-one connection and is able to send friend requests. When everything is completed, we will be combining the front end with the back end, and only the front end current design will be showing. Now, along with everything that we have currently said, such as creating the chat room, the login, the register, and altering the facial scan to help with the login and register page and to more fit with what we were trying to do, a single member of us was assigned to be the cybersecurity person for the original Guacamole ID software, which means it's what the team of the Novel Edge base team is currently doing. That person was assigned to find any vulnerabilities that they might find within the software that they've already created or within the website. This was done throughout the course of the Capstone 2 project, and they're still continuing with it, and everything is going well. Now, to showcase this to the product owner and the product team, they created a variety of different PowerPoint slides and documents that showcase any vulnerabilities or any errors that they may have found, which will eventually be used to upgrade and update their currently running software. That was the end of the introduction video. Thank you very much.